You were one of the first ministers to identify Turkey as an enemy state. You've been very forthright about that, and you've even called for the Turkish consulate to be closed.
Absolutely.
Why would that help?
Look, the Middle East is divided into basically two separate Sunni coalitions. One is the radical Islam Sunni coalition, Qatar, Julan is Syria, and Turkey. And the other is the more moderate Bahrain, Morocco, Emirates, Egypt, Jordan, etc. Now, AKP, it's not Turkey, because they know Turkey is like Iran. Yes, it's not a democracy. The opposition leaders in Turkey are imprisoned. Journalists, hundreds of journalists are in prison. And there is zero democracy. And by the way, Erdogan is following the step of the Ayatollah. And he will be brought down by the people of Turkey, not by any foreign forces. But this Muslim Brotherhood ideology, Turkey, Jolani, Qatar, this is the greatest threat, not just for the Middle East, but also for Europe and also for America.
But why close the embassy? Why close the consulate? How would that help?
I think we have now, we don't have an active embassy at the moment in Ankara. Our people, because of the threats, because of the incitement, look at what happened just today. They had a conference for solidarity with Palestine, with the most vicious incitement against the state of Israel, comparing Netanyahu to Hitler. We have Erdogan's giving speeches saying that Israel should not exist. We have Erdogan's giving speeches that in God will, like we took Damascus, we're going to take Jerusalem. And one of the lessons of October 7th is pay attention to what your enemies are saying. And if your enemies are saying that you don't have a right to exist, they mean it.
So cut ties, cut diplomatic ties.
I think we should cut ties with Turkey. It's an enemy state. And I think also, and this is one of the things that is very, very important, we have some senior advisors here from the friendly administration of the US, and I think they need to rethink how do they address the radical Islamist ideology of Erdogan and Jolani.
Right. Well, I want to ask you about that because President Trump is very fond of Erdogan. He called him his friend multiple times during those talks with Prime Minister Netanyahu in Florida. We know Turkey is dying to get troops into Gaza. You know, Trump's been very ambiguous about that. They might get the F-35s. What can Israel do if Trump is so pro-Erdogan?
We cannot accept, no matter what, we cannot accept Turkish troops in Gaza. It would be a disaster and a major threat for the state of Israel because it puts the IDF and the Turkish forces, and there might be a chance that because of some misunderstanding or something small that can light a big war, and we don't want it to happen. We are saying to the Turks in Syria, stay out of Syria and specifically southern Syria, and in Gaza, don't even think about getting into Gaza. And we cannot accept it, no matter what, no matter what. And again, I'm saying...
Even if that means going against President Trump?
Maybe, look, I have tremendous appreciation for President Trump. He's been, by far, the greatest friend of Israel with the embassy and the Golan Heights and the Abraham Accords and Iran. Really, and fighting anti-Semitism. I have only good things to say about Trump. But I think he's making a mistake with Erdogan. It's a mistake. Erdogan is not a friend of Western civilization. He's playing with America. It's a double game.